Okay, we're live. And we go like that and get some music going. In just a second, I'll be posting links to everywhere that I can, at the very least. Just want to see. There it is. It's quick. So, how long does that take to update? And while I'm waiting, sorry about the audio. So you get my. So now I go like this. Does Hunt Showdown on the official server, do they have something like a posting for live, like, hey, you've gone live? Surely they don't. There'd be way too many people posting. No, they don't think so. I really gotta start scheduling these streams so I can do all this posting and stuff before I start the stream so I can just get right into gameplay. Because I'm stupid. Back into the game. Alright, so now I'm gonna start. So essentially, Quickplay comes down to you're playing 1v11, because there's always 12 people in a match, and you start with a random weapon, and you try and get 4 clues, or kill whoever has the wellspring to win the game by running out the clock or killing everyone else on the match. I typically don't win a lot of quick plays. It takes a lot for me to win one, because it's 1v12, or 1v11 rather. 12 people in the match, and it's quite formidable actually to do. once we get into a match here, I can go a little bit more in detail on that. But for now, what I typically will do when I'm playing my quick play matches is I will look for weapons that cost a fair bit of money, so that way when I re-equip the hunter, if I should win, I now have a weapon that normally cost me a lot of money to run. So it's a lot easier to get a good start. Or when I'm playing, because as you pick up clues for the wellspring, you will pick up traits, and those traits help you define what you want on your hunter for weapons, which can be really helpful. A lot of the time you'll end up getting traits like levering. Levering is very useful on Winchesters, or Winfields as they call them in this game. And they're also very helpful with, what's another lever gun? Shoot. I guess it's another Winfield, but it's a Winfield Terminus or a shotgun. And that really helps to have that. And then you can also get skills like Determination, or sometimes worse skills like Conduit or Ghoul. Those ones aren't really the greatest. Like, you can do stuff with them, just not nearly much. Now I've started with a hand crossbow, so I don't really want to get... well, I was going to say I don't really want to get into any engagements, but I've kind of just announced my presence to the other potentially 3 people near me that I'm here. Yeah, so there's a guy behind me to the northeast who now knows that I'm here and is going to be chasing me to these clues. So my hope is to get up here, grab a proper gun, of course this clue doesn't seem to have, which is unfortunate, but that's also okay. Since he already knows that I'm here, not as much need for secrecy. Okay, no one's at this clue. That's good news. And there, what I'm doing is I'm picking up the bolt. Silencer, that's really good. Now I can maybe kill someone. So yeah, so now I've got 2 traits, Hornskin and Marksman Scopesmith. So unfortunately, both of those are not very helpful to me at the moment. I have a hand crossbow that doesn't have a marksman scope, and I have a suppressed Sparks, which also doesn't have a marksman scope. Hornskin is kind of only useful to help lower grunt damage, because it just lowers blunt melee damage, which players don't really typically bother dealing. Usually they use guns. Sons of guns. Sparks is one of the most powerful guns in the game, but it only fires a single shot, so it can be pretty difficult to run. Actually, the Sparks costs a heck of a lot less than a Spectre bayonet. As much as I hate this gun, it's worth a heck of a lot more, which makes it worth using. Cool, but now I found a Terminus, which is something I much prefer, and does a lot more damage. So again, I'm just looking around trying to find the most expensive loadout I can while doing quick plays. So here I've got a Terminus hand cannon, which means it's sawed off, which means I can run another medium slot, and I've just found dual pistols. Someone else now has the Wellspring, which means that I no longer have to look for clues. Now all I have to do is kill him and everyone else, which can be quite difficult or quite easy, depending on how you do it. Pitcher, good. I can also take my sweet time gathering stuff, because now I have 300 seconds or less to kill this guy, depending on the situation. Sometimes you get unlucky and they start killing off the other hunters. Sometimes you don't. Depends on who's in the match with you. So, let's hope that everyone in this lobby is in it. Ah, Derringer. Nice. For yucks. Always grab the Derringer. Oh, thank you. Chickens. Alright, let's go for this guy. Just go to Claire. Something like that anyway. So that's pretty nice. Roommate dropped it off. Perfect. Hellhounds, everyone's least favorite creature. It's not quite super comprehensive, but I'm hearing noises over that way, so I'm taking a wide berth going this way. Now, I know that our possible stamina. Finally. I've got stamina again. It's interesting that streaming on Quickplay, I've got 50 FPS, 60 FPS roughly, on average. But when I stream with my friend, I have way less. Like, I'm dropping frames 10-20% at a time. By now I would have had 3 error messages. All sorts of stuff. So, what I'm going to try and do here, and it's pretty stupid of me to try and do this, is I'm going to try and covertly pass the waterway here by crouching and walking in the water. This is a very easy way to get killed. It's probably really dumb too. There's our boy. Underneath. Sure, I mean, why would you be upstairs? Done. Take this regen shot so my health consistently heals for the next 5 minutes, which covers the remaining time in the match. I have water in my ear from my shower, and it's causing me to itch in my ear canal. That is really annoying. Probably only stream for about an hour or so just to cover the general basics of Hunt. Now I've got a guy behind me. Let's just wonder. How are you alive? Very well. I have little recourse left. Not much time. Oh, are you the last guy on the map? Yes. See, so he had levering, and he's using a Winfield, so he properly shot very rapid fire compared to what you can usually get, and just completely destroyed me. Oh, apparently there were other people on the map. Died at the end. That's good. I like it. So, I guess I'll play probably another quick play and then I'll do one bounty hunt. Just to try and show how some of these skills can translate. Practicing quick play, playing solo, learning what you can as you play. This time, instead of going over what I typically do in quick play, I'm going to try and go over what I typically do in every hunt. As best I can anyway, I'll probably slip up a bunch. Because quite frankly, I'm not the best player in the world. Not even close. I wouldn't even put myself in the top 10,000 probably. I don't even know how many players there are in this game. I'm definitely on the upper half though, because I go from 4 stars, is what I think we call them, the Hunt community, to 5-star, and then occasionally I reach 6-star, which is the top that you can get to. It's very rare though. I gotta be playing with the right people and just winning non-stop to get there. Recently I have not been doing that. I have been losing non-stop. So typically what I do as soon as I get in is I look for other people. Drat. Some matches that happens. Those ones are rather unfortunate. So, as I was saying, typically, let me see, can I pull up a trial? And then, so typically what I'll do is, depending on where I spawn, let's not go Lawson Delta, let's go to the other one that I was just on. So I was just on Stillwater Bayou, and I was at Renard and Lumber. I spawned right about here, and another guy spawned here at the main pathway. That or they spawned right here. It's not really clear. No, they must have spawned here. And so he was probably going to cross right here on the bridge that I went to as I tried to shoot him, and I actually did get a hit. And if I had pushed right then when I had hit him, I probably would have had a better chance of killing him with that Knuckle Duster hit. But because I hit him in the gut with the knuckle duster instead of in the chest or the head, I didn't do nearly as much damage as I could have, and he just meleeed me down, or she, I suppose, because the character is a she. And what I would normally do is I look at the cross pathing, so right there there's probably a spawn, right here there's probably a spawn, right there there's probably a spawn, and right about there is probably another spawn for lumber. So that's 4 spawns, and typically what you want to do is just immediately look at the spawns, make sure no one's with you. If no one's with you, then you can proceed to the clue. And then you grab what you need, material-wise or otherwise, look for the clue, try and hear what you can. If you hear fighting at one of the other locations, you can either go towards those or go towards their next likely location. So if someone spawned at Fish, Elaine, Sons, and Fish, what you would typically do is you would either try to meet them at Fish while they're still fighting, or go over to Graves. Because Blanchett Graves has 2 clues, so people really like to go for those because you can potentially get 2, unless it gets booted out of the clue area. As you saw in the last match, it sort of started closing off in this area, and then someone picked it up and it went to Chapel Madonna Noir. So what you typically want to do is look out for people right away, then push in towards the clues. Once you get the next clue, you move to the next location and keep your ears as open as possible to try and kill some people and potentially, hopefully, make winning a lot easier. And if you can't kill people, or you're not very confident in killing the other people, what you can try and do is just play the long con and wait until it's a lot easier. So here I'm going to go into a bounty hunt and just quickly try and show you kind of what I'm talking about there. Hopefully. So, right off the bat, I've got a spawn to my right, and potentially a spawn to my left. I'm not so much worried about the spawn to my left, because they're probably going to go for upper disval anyway. But the spawn to my right, I can actually just sort of see right away when I look to the right. Like, they're going to be back there, and further down. Now, I'm not seeing anything, which either means they've moved ahead towards the clue, because I took a second there to get going, which they haven't, or they just didn't spawn there. Because they didn't spawn there, I now know that I'm pretty clear to move forward and try and grab this clue and then redirect in a direction that I see fit. What I'm sort of doing right there is I'm doing a heavy melee hit with my main weapon, and then I'm hitting them with a light hit. And that sort of gives you some XP with the weapon. It's only 10 XP per grunt, but it's still better than doing a heck of a lot less. Same deal here. I know that I can kill a armor and stun lock it by doing 2 heavies on a light, and then 2 heavies again. That will keep the armored stunned so that it can't retaliate against me. Which is very helpful both when you're playing solo and when you need to kill something quickly but not let it hit you. I've been in a lot of situations where I maybe haven't necessarily had the largest amount of health, but I've had to deal with these NPCs anyway, just because you're unlucky enough to get into a fight and then the fighting draws the creature in, and you have to end up eliminating it so that you can proceed with your fight, or proceed with healing in the case of getting shot. But you can also do to speed up going through these doors, if you feel like it, and you've got the stamina and you're not, you know, too worried about needing to use it for something else. Oh. Okay, so here I've heard ducks ahead of me. So I know there's someone around. Yep, there he is. Going for the clues that are over this way. Chances are I probably won't be able to catch them off guard. But if I move wisely, just kidding. Duel mats. Phew. I had a good play on it, but I missed and got chased around by a bunch of creatures. So there I rushed the play a little too soon. But I almost had them, and this happens a lot. The problem is getting discouraged, which is what is happening to me right now. Even thinking of ending the stream early, quite honestly, because I'm getting quite annoyed. Mostly because I'm playing by myself. If I were playing with another, it would be much easier. But when playing by yourself, it's a lot harder to maintain the will to play. That's where Monster Hunter would be a lot easier. I also play that. But if I just hire a free hunter, I'm not going to use this weapon though, because that's a death sentence. Sure. Here, when I'm running a solo on Bounty Hunt, I just run cheap. As cheap as I can go. So I picked something that I already had. Then I went over here, I grabbed Knuckle Dusters, or Nutcrackers, because I did a special Christmas event. And then I picked First Aid, and that's it. Normally, when I'm playing regular, I also grab Choke Bombs because they help you choke out your burning teammates. If your teammate burns all the way out, you can't resurrect them. I've grabbed a Firebomb, and I've got healing of some kind. So the healing is a little bit slower than I usually go, but the Firebomb is really useful because it's not so much that I want to burn out the enemy teammate. What I really want is, if I get into a firefight and I can't push the position of the enemy right away, I want to be able to draw them out. And that's what the Firebomb is there for, is to draw out the enemy. So that's really important to have, and it's 18 Hunt dollars. I've got 69,000 something at the moment. Some people have upwards of 40,000 because they just don't prestige and play the game as they want to play it using whatever guns they want. Personally, I prefer prestiging because it gives me something to work towards, to each their own, of course. Naturally, some people play at different paces. Some people don't care to prestige because they don't see the merit in it. And then there are the people who have, you know, prestige 100, rank 100 profiles where they've completed everything, but they're still playing the game to enjoy it. But then they also, sometimes I see them running like the most outrageous builds for weapons and equipment, where it's like they're spending the most money they can running the cheapest and possible build. And when I say cheap, I mean not cheap as in inexpensive, but cheap as in potentially unfair. So, here, I know that there's potentially a spawn up by Ma Battery, but I'm not worried about them, because there's a much closer spawn to my right or south that I've got to worry about a lot more, because they could push into this compound and kill me if they want. Trip mines are only useful if you put them beside a fire barrel of some kind. I've seen these things used to great effect. People will walk over them and blow themselves up on a red barrel, or they'll burn down a health bar on yellow barrels, which I have done several times in the past. There's an extract, in case I need to book it out of here. So, I'm hearing shooting up by Goddard Docks. There's for sure another team up there. And there's another team sort of northeast on the opposite side by Salter's Pork. Oh, and one at Windy Run, from the sounds of it. So that's several teams that I already know the general location of, and that I can guess where they're next going to be. Crouching here to avoid activating those chickens, because if I activate those chickens, someone in the next complex over is gonna know that I'm here. So, no one is here, no one's coming, but I can now do. Alright. Shin. An important thing worth noting, if you look in the top left of my screen, is that there's only one bounty right now. Because there's only one bounty, as a solo player, in a way, I now have an advantage. Because what I can do, if I'm patient enough, is wait for all the other teams to kill each other trying to get this one bounty, and then all I have to do is kill the final team right after they finish their fight with another team. If I can pull that off, I can potentially pull out of this with the bounty. Makes it a lot easier to win the gambit. Now, I thought I might have heard someone out that way. In which case opening this gate is a really bad idea. It appears I was incorrect. listening in. Trying to catch this guy unaware. Dang it. Carabiner. Tough. I probably could have spectated there to kind of showcase what I was talking about. The other teams and knowing their general locations, so I didn't hear anyone shooting near me at Fort, which is why I didn't know those guys were there, for the most part. And what you might have noticed there when they were on top of that ridge was I was able to quickly pick them up in my peripheral vision, see that they were there, and try and take a shot. Luckily, I got a hit off, and I probably should have pressed my advantage there. It might have helped, but because I'm playing against duos, I don't necessarily know who his teammate is. So I don't want to press something with as many unknowns as I had there. This is a really nice hunter. I want to pick him up, but I'm running free hunters right now. And I really want to just play a little bit more just to try and show what it looks like when you actually have a good setup going. So I'll take in this Caldwell Rival, and I'm not going to bring any extra ammo. What I will do is I'll go like this and grab poison bolts on the crossbow, and you'll see why in just a second. Because it's going to help out a lot, both with movement and with killing bosses in general. So here I'm at 3 stars, because I've just been playing so terrible I've actually gone down, I think. And I believe, go to leaderboard statistics, no. There's somewhere where you can go, it will show you the general area that people fall in for rankings. And it typically is the bottom half of the standard deviation is in 3-star, and the top half is in 4-star, and then the tails end up being 5 and 6 and 1 and 2. So I've never been down at 1 and 2, and typically when I play with others who are new to the game, they very quickly go up to 3-star, even if they're, you know, like they only have 10 matches in their games. Just because it's that much easier to play with a team, and I play much better with a team, so I end up going up myself, and I bring them up with me. So this will probably be the last match for today's live stream, and then I'm going to call it a quits for the stream today. Just wanted to get a quick one in today, just to sort of show how everything works with Hunt Showdown, and I'm going to edit it down later so that it's a lot easier to understand and it's a lot shorter. I'm hoping it'll be a lot shorter. It may or may not. So here I've spawned at Maw, so this is the spawn I was talking about when I was back over there. So, the hand crossbow, as you can see, is already helping with my movement. Because I can shoot things, quickly kill them. There I just pulled the bolt, and by pulling the bolt I did that little bit of extra damage I needed to kill it. So there might be a team over there. Obviously I'm not going to hit them with the shotgun if I shot at them now. I have the range for that. But I know that there's a potential team there. Wow, I got such a big frame drop there. And there's also potentially a team to my left. You don't typically end up getting teams here at Maw. I think there's technically 2 spawns, but oh, that was interesting. Hey there. Good to see you. Neosync site. Just gonna assume that you're a bot of some kind, and that doesn't matter so much. Let's see. Okay, I have the 1 bounty. So here, there's a smaller bounty that's worth a lot less. I think it's worth like 75 bounty points. And then there's the bigger bounty that is worth a heck of a lot more. So I'm going to be going for that one, because it's probably where the most player traffic is going to be. Here I've switched to my poison crossbow, because if I end up getting to the boss first, it's going to make killing the boss a lot easier. My experience, Sweet Bell Flower is a high traffic area that only has the boss pretty easily. And here, with the poison crossbow, you can see that I've just silenced a set of crows from revealing my location. Mind you, that bolt that I just used is lost forever, but the general gist there is that I can move through areas a lot quicker by removing the sound traps that would normally give you away or force you to take a different path. So here I'm already in Sweet Bell, and now I see that the boss that I was going for at Sweet Bell isn't at Sweet Bell anymore. Someone quickly took care of it over at Barton Parish, which is unfortunate for me, but at the same time could be considered fortunate, depending on how I do things here. This is a trait. Repeater, not very helpful for me, as I'm not using a levering action. Because aiming down sights with a levering action, it shoots a little bit faster. It's like, I think it's like 0.5 seconds faster, which can be quite useful. Water Devil's over there, so I definitely want to cross here. I don't know how I'm not activating this one of those. Okay. Better. Can you poison Water Devils, I wonder? The issue with me hitting that Water Devil there is that if the bounty team is adept enough, skilled enough, well trained with their ears, they will have heard that. Which potentially means they now know that I'm coming. Saw him right before I got shot. Drat. Well, I suppose I'll spectate and kind of try and show what's happening here. Since I'm just playing solo, it's kind of hard to show how things are going. So this is the team that killed me. They're looking currently for my second. I don't have a second, but they don't know that. So what they're probably going to do is one of them is probably going to push up and burn my body to try and draw out my supposed teammate. So see, he's moving forward with dual pistols. Maybe my teammate already made it inside, they don't know. So they're just checking. He's pushing in. They don't find anything, they find a trait. It's over what the trait is. Now, unfortunately I don't get to see what trait it is. But I can see that this guy's clearly a leveled up hunter, meaning he's won a couple games already. They're looting me, one person's covering. Then he pushes out, his buddy loots me. And now they're probably gonna burn me. So they just saw the bounty guys inside that building. As you can see now, my body is burning. Now, I don't have anyone to prevent that from happening. But now let's try and look at who else is here. So there's another team pushing into bounty area. And they don't know that the team over by the building is there. This team is probably going to die because of where they're choosing to push from. sounds like they've got more to worry about than just themselves. They're also incredibly bad. So, if I just switch here, again, just not the greatest. If I were playing with someone, I probably would have killed them by now. So there's one guy upstairs, he's probably a part of the bounty team. Got one guy doing who knows what. And then, where are you, sir? Doing the smaller bounty. So, we've got another guy on his own doing nothing. Some team of 2 who spawned south of me, so if I had pushed these guys, they actually seem to be AFK. So I probably could have killed them if I had gone towards them, but it looks like... Oh, I don't know what they're doing actually. Here we've got those same guys who actually ended up winning that counter. What the? Did they... Or are these the guys who killed me? No. Oh! The guys that killed me pushed in. I missed that. So now we've got people fighting... Let's see. We've got this guy here who just got poisoned by something. And is also shooting. And then we've got his teammate, Default 1, who's up on the lighthouse trying to shoot at the guy at Goddard Docks. Not entirely sure what he's hoping to accomplish. But if we go back to our boy Officer Jackson, it looks like he's actually pushing the fight. So he wants to try and kill these guys despite being a solo player to secure himself safely. And see, because he's got a marksman, he can actually see and render in at that distance. Now, I'm not sure why he's taking that shot. In fact, it seems very foolish to do so. Especially when others are so close. And we have our bounty team. And it looks to me like they're just sitting around waiting for others to show up. And back to a different solo player, but using the same weapon as the other solo. And he's sort of pushing in on the bounty team. But back to our Officer Jackson. And we just see him trying to take out that sniper, and the sniper's teammate is going for the bounty behind him. But I think this is all I'm going to do for watching others. Oh, it's not actually, that's an entirely different guy. So who are you? Oh, another solo play. So the thing about running solo is that you're likely to get into a match with a bunch of other solos, which is what we have here. Unfortunately, I pushed in very quickly to the larger bounty where all the duo teams were. Apparently, if I had stayed at the small bounty, I would have had a much higher chance of success. Let's just see if this guy's got anything on the bounty team. He's probably going to die to them. Because they know that he's there, but he doesn't know that they know that he's there. Let's go one more over. They should know that he's alone. Which is why it's strange to me that they're playing so cautiously instead of just pushing him from two ends. Let's see Daniel's point of view. Looks like he's just being cautious. He's hoping to catch one by surprise and then quickly turn and probably try and kill the other. Fortunately, our Daniel guy here is running the same thing that I was. Almost. But enough spectating. That's gonna be it for this day's stream. Sorry it was so short. I just wanted to get one in and try and explain a little bit about Hunt, and then I'm going to edit it back and create a a general what most players end up doing in a match, at least as far as I've seen what typically happens, and then I'll edit that back and post it on my channel later. Hopefully it helps as many Hunt players or future Hunt players on how to actually play Hunt Showdown in a more expert fashion. That's going to be it from me. Thank you for watching, anyone that did, and I might have missed you.